Hi Aries, welcome to your June 2020 Tarot Scope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. If you are already a continued subby, you know I love you for it. With that said, before we start, I would like to, as always, bless all of my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So let's see what June 2020 has in store for you for this year. Let's see what's taking place. So for your actions and your interactions with the world at large this month, you get the Three of Wands, right? So you are all about the forward momentum. You are all about that sort of bigger, expansive energy this month. Now, your Three of Wands isn't just about sort of growth and expansion, especially when it's an actions card, because this is about you setting certain things into motion. This is a month where for those of you that have travel plans, it looks like they're going ahead for you, which is great news. For those of you that are deciding to move on a business of some sort, anything where you're maybe starting a side hustle, maybe you're deciding to change your working in general, maybe you're deciding to go in a completely different direction. The Three of Wands is often asking you where it is that you are ready to grow, where is it that you are ready to do something new, or to we're ready to do something bigger, or to take an action or a path that you haven't taken before. This is kind of a moment where you take stock, you kind of look around and say, right, up until now I've been able to build this, but from here on in I'm going to do things differently and I'm going to go in a completely different direction. So this is fantastic because it gives you the energy that you need in order to create the things that you want. Right, it gives you the passion, the drive and energy. It's like taking all of those Aries things and putting them into action. This could be a really great month for you when it comes to business, when it comes to anything that you're deciding to create, or maybe even something that you're deciding to invent. That could be something that comes up for you over the course of this time. And because this is your actions, this is what you do, right? So this is effectively saying to you, over the course of June, you're ready for growth, you're ready for expansion, you're ready to take things to the next level or in a bigger step, which is a really interesting energy that's come through for your actions for June. Because if you check the last week of the reading for the last week of May, it was very much a sort of insular, sort of almost like doing the planning, laying the foundation sort of work. And then here in June, you're kind of exploding or expanding outward, which is brilliant. So it kind of seems like you've done the necessary prep work in order to start moving ahead with something. For your money and materials, you have the Six of Cups. So old ideas, right? Especially next to the Three of Wands, any old idea that you had for a business, an old idea that you had for making money, maybe something that you decided a long time ago, you know what, I'll put that on the back burner at the moment because, you know, obviously life happens, we've got things to do. This is about you kind of going back into your past, searching the memory bank, searching the database, you know, of your mind, of your lifescape, and saying, right, okay, that idea is now ready to come forward. This idea, I'm ready to give it credence, I'm ready to give it energy, I'm ready to give it some sort of backing. Because your Six of Cups isn't just about the memories, it's about the things that you choose or want to align yourself with, to build into something, to turn into something tangible. You know, and very often it's an old idea, something that you've done in the past, maybe something that you tried to do but it never quite came off or quite succeeded in the way that you would like. But this is brilliant, right? Because it means that it's back on the table, it's back on the card, so to speak. Now remember, your money and materials isn't just about your finances, it's also about your home, right? This looks like a much more harmonious energy for home this month. And the beauty of this, I kind of feel like, because you're going to have this ability to travel, or, you know, at least certainly on a grander scale than you have up until this point, there's kind of this feeling of, right, okay, you know what, I appreciate home so much more now because it's kept me, it's sustained me, it's been, you know, it's been, at moments it's been my sanctuary, at moments it felt like a prison, but ultimately there is a lot more gratitude around the home that you're feeling this month. And on top of that, when it comes to your physical health, this month you've got a lot more vitality back, But it does look like you're focusing your energy when it comes to your physical health. It does look like you're focusing on longevity. What's the other word that I'm looking for as well? Stamina. So anything that is going to kind of build your cardio, anything that is going to start to, you know, build the legs, to make the legs stronger again. Now, remember, especially if you've been at home and you haven't necessarily been exercising, you know, if you haven't been walking a lot, if you haven't been riding your bike a lot, if all of those things, this is going to be a month where you're really focused on rebuilding the strength in your actual legs, like in your feet, your calves, your legs, all of that sort of stuff. So very, very interesting and an awesome message. For your communications with the world at large, you have the 8 of Swords. So this could be a month, right? Remember, your 8 of Swords is that constriction and confinement. You may be frustrated that things aren't necessarily opening as quick as you like. One thing that you need to remember, right? This event has happened. It's not going anywhere. This is just a precursor, right? It's just it's just a preview, right? We're getting a little snippet of how things are going to be now, and we're getting a whole lot of it later on, right? So one thing that you need to consider with this 8 of Swords, you might find yourself saying, oh, you know, it's not happening quick enough and all the rest of it. Just remember to check yourself, right? And not, you know, I'm not scolding you or anything, but just remember that whatever you get back is a blessing, right? And you need to remember that in the times going forward, that even if things don't necessarily move at a pace that you would like them to, any forward progression and movement from where we've been is exactly that, right? It's important for you to find ways to communicate and express that, but it's also important for you to remember, you know, the situation that you've come out of. And the reason I say that is I feel like a lot of people are going to try to do this whole thing of, oh, you know, it's over now, and they'll just try to go back to the same sort of hustle and bustle that we had before. That way of life, I'm sorry to tell you, is over. So it really is about all of this growth, this expansion, these new directions that you're going in. Focus on those, right? Focus on bringing those into the fore now, because the old way of doing things is well and truly done. For your heart and half sector, you have the Page of Pentacles, right? So this is kind of an echo of this. Now, for some of you, you could be thinking about going into business with a partner, maybe with a friend, maybe with a family member. It's definitely possible with this card in this position. It does suggest that your people, so your partner, your friends, your family, your people are going to be the ones that can help support you with any business ideas, with any ideas that you've got for making more money. That is where you need to look. Now, one thing I will say to you, because this falls with the 8 of Swords, again, don't be looking for the quick fix or the quick answer, and anything that presents that this month, the chances are it won't come off in the way that you're hoping. So slow and steady is going to win this race. For those of you that are single, your Page of Pentacles kind of suggests that you're more focused on work, business, making money, you know, changing the experience that you're having at this moment in time, more so than kind of getting into a relationship. For those of you that are partnered, it looks like you and your partner are coming up with a really lucrative idea that could carry you forward when it comes to your finances in really exciting ways. So let's have a look at your weeks of the month. Ooh, okay, so your jumping card for the first week out is the High Priestess. When you get that intuitive nudge to move, to go onto something, or to, you know, whether it's that you see the lotto numbers in a dream, whether it is, you know, somebody offers you something at a really good price and you're like, I'm in an ahhing about whether you should take it or not. You know, this is your if you get the intuitive nudge to move on something, to make a certain decision or go down a certain pathway with the 3 of Wands there, the message is quite clear. Whatever you feel the intuitive nudge to do, whatever it is you feel the impulse, the inner energy to do, you must go for it. And the reason I say that is because your High Priestess, she is those, you know, those intuitive messages that come from deep within. And your 3 of Wands, this is about actions. It's about creating something that expands or grows larger. So pay attention to that. And also, it could be, because it's the 3 of Wands as well, maybe this week this first week of the month, you're privy to knowledge and information that is not not commonplace. This could have something to do with your work, something to do with business. It may very well be something to do with travel. Maybe you discover a loophole where you can get your money back. Maybe you discover, that things are going ahead and you get ahead of the curve. Pay attention to all of the whispers over the course of this first week of the month. For your second week of the month, you've got the Hanged Man, right? So take your time with it. Whatever you're taking off the back burner, again, right, this seems to be the message for you guys. And it's going to kind of be one of those things, oh, well, everything's opening up, so back to normal, zoom, 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 zoom. No, all right, this second week of the month, especially any ideas that you're taking off the back burner, anything that you're bringing back into the fore, this is a month for you to take your time with it, especially here in the second week. Formulate the plan, reassess it. Are there holes in the plan? What needs to be, if you've got a bucket and you need to carry X amounts of water and it's got like 3 holes in it, before you go and start pulling water, you're going to plug up the holes, right? This is what you're doing in the second week of the month. Pay attention to what is coming up for you around that time, because it will be showing you or revealing you where these plans might not be as solid or as concrete as you think or as they could be. Now, because this is underneath your money card as well, when it comes to your finances, again, no big purchases this month, right? Slow and steady is going to win the race, especially if you can wait until after the 25th of August, after the 25th of June, because that's when Venus will finally be direct. So if you want to wait till like the 26th even, and I know that's like basically the whole month, but this is what I'm saying, slow and steady, guys, from here on in. You're going to have to really think about this. We've got a summer of retrogradia ahead of us. Use it wisely. And then finally, when it comes to your home, again, it looks like you could be beautifying the home. Maybe for some of you as well, you're creating something at the home that you can offer to the wider world at a later date. It's very much a behind the scenes sort of energy, these two cards. That's what it feels like to me. And then with your health, again, right, so I said to you about your feet and your legs. The Hanged Man is very Pisces, sort of Neptune Pisces energy, which rules your feet, which rules your, the lower end of the body, so to speak. But for me, I feel like this is your whole legs. Pay attention to those, work on them, do stretches, do strengthening exercise for the small muscles in your feet, in your ankles. Pay attention to that stuff over the course of this month, especially here in the second week. For your third week, you have the Temperance card underneath the 8 of Swords. It's really important that you have some of the deeper conversations. Like if you're frustrated that things aren't moving so quickly, then voice that opinion for sure. But do try not to forget, try not to forget where it is that you've been, because the thing is, if it comes around again, like it looks like it is for many of us, it could be sort of like a rude slap in the face at that point of the year. So this is a week for you to really pay attention to how you feel about the whole situation. Voice your frustrations, yes, absolutely, but find ways to work around them, and don't convince yourself that like, oh yeah, that's it, now everything's over, it's it's all business back to normal, because it's just not going to be that experience. And I think if you try to go back into it too quickly, all you'll get is more frustration and more kickback. For your fourth week of the month, you have the Tree of Life, right? Beautiful card, especially under the Page of Pentacles. When it comes to your familial relationships, it looks like the family unit is being, not being reconnected, but it looks like it's being strengthened in some way. For those of you that are single, again, it looks like you're very focused on the opportunities that are coming your way, as opposed to relationships. Not saying that it can't come up, but I just don't feel like your energy is necessarily as invested there. And then finally, for those of you that are partnered, whatever ideas you have, and even for those of you that are single actually, but especially for those of you that are partnered, whatever ideas you have for working with somebody that you know, somebody that you love, somebody that you care about, it's a really good path. It's divinely assisted or blessed. For those of you that are single, again, it's your people that are going to help you find those resources that you need. But you're Aries, so you most of the time you've got to be willing to put in the work, because otherwise you're not going to get anything out of it. With that said, let's have a look at your key to the month. What is coming through with or on that? This month you get the Temperance card, right? So again, what is it that you are making space for at the moment? When it comes to the communications, it may very well be that you are having to maybe you're having to really think about what it is that you're saying, you know, who it is that you're having conversations with. It might come under fire this month. And with the Temperance card as the key, it is asking you, what is it that you're making space for? What is it that you're welcoming into your life? What is it that you are effectively laying the ground for? You know, like if you have bad people in your life, you laid the ground for those people to be there. What are you going to do about it? That's the question. It does look like as well, for those of you that are communicating with somebody overseas, it looks like they are either having some sort of issue, or maybe you guys are having some sort of a conflict. It's definitely a possibility. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic month. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.